Okay, today is not like a regular day that I usually come online to come talk about facts, talk about things that have been happening in the country, and probably to call out some persons, probably like our politicians and the rest that have not been doing well. Today, I'm here with an advice. I woke up this morning, I opened my phone and I come across a video, and I probably want to talk about it. But first of all, I want you to watch the video, after which I would talk about it. Please, just calm your nerves down, calm down to your fullest, and watch this video. Don't just watch, try to understand what you're watching on that video. So take a look.
So tell me, what's one thing you've done in your life that if you could go back in time, you would stop yourself from doing it?
Let's have it.
If I could remove one thing from my life, it would not be my marriage. It would be the voices I allowed into my head.
How?
I met my husband when he had nothing, no money, no cars, just me and him, and peace of mind. We used to sit outside in the evening, laugh, gist. Back then, I used to say, as long as I have you, I'm okay. And I meant it. Or at least I thought I did. My husband used to do a lot of things for me. They might not be big, but they felt real. If I complain about headache, he'll massage my head with warm water till I sleep off. If the food at home is not enough, he will say he's not hungry just for me to eat. Sometimes he will wake up very early in the morning to go and fetch water before I wake up from sleep. Some days when I'm tired, he will help me to wash plates even when I said he should not. And every single night, no matter how stressful his day went, he will always ask me, "Are you okay? Hope you are good." Those things used to mean everything to me back then because they feel real and natural. Well, things didn't actually change suddenly. Everything started changing when life got a little better for us. He got a better job and we moved into a small apartment in a quiet estate. I remember the first night we slept there. We didn't sleep early because of excitement. And nothing changed my husband. He was even better than before. And life continues. So after a year and a half, that was when we had our first child. My husband would carry the baby like it was the most fragile thing in the world. Sometimes I'll wake up in the night and I'll see him watching the baby. He was not a perfect man. He forgets dates sometimes. And in fact, my husband doesn't know how to surprise like all those Instagram husbands. But he was always present, and that was all that mattered. Then I met new friends in the estate, women who looked like they had everything together, always well dressed, talking about luxury life, and they called themselves estate boss ladies. At first, it was just a conversation, then slowly it became something else. I would meet them for tea and they would ask about my marriage, and I would tell them it is fine, my husband is trying, and they would laugh. Just fine? One of them said. She said, "Do I have a car?" I said, "No." She said, "That means I still take the estate bus." And I said, "Yes." She said, "That's a disaster at its peak." She said, "I deserve more." And the other one said, "I have to push him." Because men don't know how to do what is expected until you push them. They told me how they push their husbands to get where they are today. How they will not settle for less, but the absolute best. And slowly I started listening to those women. Then I started noticing things I don't used to notice.
What?
The way my husband repeated clothes and the way he calculated expenses before spending. The way he would say, "Let's manage this month." Before it was normal, but now it felt like suffering. Even the things I once loved about this man started irritating me. When he asked, "Are you okay?" it started sounding as if it was a noise. When he could not afford something expensive, I would start comparing him with the estate men. I stopped seeing his effort. I started seeing his limitation. He was still being the man I once prayed for, but I wanted things different now. I remember the first time I disrespected him publicly. We were at a small gathering when someone made a joke about men who could not buy expensive things. And I laughed and said, some people here need to be ashamed of themselves. Then I looked at him. People understood and laughed, but he did not laugh. That night, he did not talk. He just asked me one question. Do you still respect me? But I didn't answer him, because in my mind, I feel justified. My friends told me about this reaction. They called it first stage. That is denial stage, but you have no choice later than to accept it. I remember what our first lady in the group said. She said he will appreciate it later when he sees it in a bigger picture. Because if you did not pressure him, he will never grow. And when he doesn't, you'll be the one to suffer. Then I started pressuring him, complaining and comparing, and he changed slowly. He stopped gisting with me. Well, I was not bothered because according to the estate boss lady, she said that was the first stage and the second stage. Until one day when everything broke. That day, I don't know how everything got bad. I could have controlled everything, but I didn't. It started like every other argument. I kept talking about money and how he's not doing enough. But this time around, he didn't keep quiet. He looked at me tired and said, when did you become like this? And I felt attacked. And I said, like what? He just shook his head and said, we used to be okay. What changed? I laughed, but it wasn't even funny. You call this life okay? Always watching others live better and you're here talking about okay. He went quiet for a moment and said, since when did our marriage become a competition? That question annoyed me. I now said, since I've started seeing what real men do for their wives. He looked at me as if he didn't even recognize me. Then he said, when did these people start deciding what is enough for you matter? Then I said, it's because you are not man enough and I deserve better. He didn't move or say a word. I could have stopped there, but I didn't. He was still looking at me quietly when I said something that I shouldn't have said. Then I said, I regret marrying you. The way he looked at me, I've never seen him like that before. He looked empty, like something inside him closed. He nodded slowly, picked his phone and walked out. I didn't follow him and I didn't call him because I was still angry at him. I was still feeling as if I was right. I sat there convincing myself that he would come back as always. Night came, he didn't return. I called him, he didn't answer. Then I told myself maybe he needed time. Then an unknown number called. I picked, it was a female's voice. Then she asked if I'm the wife of the owner of the number. I said yes. Then she said I should come to so hospital. That there have been an accident and my husband is involved.
Jesus.
I didn't even remember how I got there, but I saw myself there. When I got to the hospital, the first thing I saw was his shoes. Then I saw him, but not the way I knew him. He was lying there, quiet, and machines were all around him. They said he was hit by a car while crossing the road. He didn't die, but he wasn't alive. He was in coma. I sat beside him every day holding his hands, talking to him, crying, begging him that I didn't mean what I said, but no response. Days passed, week passed, and then one morning, then the doctor called me aside and said, I'm sorry ma, we did our best, but we couldn't save him. That was it, just like that. I stood there empty. Because the last full conversation I had with my husband was me destroying him with words. If I had protected my peace instead of chasing what is not mine, my husband would still be alive. Now let me tell you what I learned in my story that was too late for me.
Carry on.
People will sit with you, laugh with you, advise you, and still be the reason your home will break.
That is how human beings are.
Those same women, the ones that told me I deserve more. When everything scattered, when my husband was fighting for his life, everyone disappears. None of them came. It was just me and the weight of my own words. And when he finally didn't make it, I didn't just lose a husband. I lost the only person who truly stayed. And after everything, life didn't pause there. Reality came immediately. Bills, responsibility, and a child asking for a father I can never bring back. And that is it that made me feel like I wasn't enough. I was evicted when I couldn't pay rent anymore. And the same people who made me destroy what I had, none of those so-called boss ladies could do anything for me. None of them offered support. That was when I understood something. Not everyone that speaks into your life that is speaking to build you. Some people are speaking from emptiness. Some don't even know what they have, so they will never recognize what you have. While some are projecting their own dissatisfaction. Marriage is not a competition ground, and definitely not something you will compare. It is in the person who stays with you even when life is not perfect. I had that, then I traded it for a life that is not even real. Now I am here raising my child alone, doing everything what we are supposed to do together all by myself. And the hardest part is not just the struggling, it is knowing that I had peace, then I destroy it with my hands. If you have something real, protect it. Don't allow outsiders to define it. Don't allow too many voices to enter something that it is yours. Because the truth is, those people that are pushing will not be there to carry your pains when it falls apart. I learned the hardest way, so I wish you to learn from my mistakes. Filter what you hear and guide what you heard. Because once it is gone, no amount of regret can bring it back.
Okay, so at this point you must have watched the video, and you must have done your own analysis and the rest. But one advice I want to give to each and every one of us: nobody is saying it's a crime or it's something bad to keep friends. No, it's good to make friends, reasonable friends, not just friends, reasonable friends. But don't let your friends to overrule you. That's what I keep telling people. Make friends, but don't let your friends overrule you. Don't allow your friends make decisions for you. They are not your decision makers. No, it's quite, as long as it's quite alright to listen to friends, probably tell friends some certain things so you could see what they would advise or their take on that particular issue you mentioned to them. As much as you tell them these things, it's also wise on your own, after getting their response, to do an analysis. Make an analysis of the response they've given to you. It's not just because you have a friend, you let your friends influence you, you let your friends tell you what to do, you let your friends decide for you. You see what just happened to that lady? I'm only using that lady as an instance. There are a lot of happenings. There have been a lot of happenings. Friends influencing friends, making them do stuff they're not supposed to do. Last, they will not have to regret and the rest. So always know how you entertain your friends. No matter what you tell them, always ensure you make an analysis. Because once these friends, they get to deceive you, they get to fool you off, take you out of the line, when you will be crying, those same friends, they will be right there looking at you, and they will do nothing. They will do nothing. They will just be there looking at you. They won't even be able to provide solution or anything. So my advice to each and every one of us: be very careful things you tell your friends. Be very careful things you let your friends tell you that goes deep down you and you make use of it. Friends advising friends is no crime. Yes, there are friends that will still advise you something very reasonable, something that will enhance your life, something that will take you far in life. But always try to analyze whatsoever advice you get from a friend. Always try to analyze whatsoever advice you get from a friend, so you don't end up like this woman in this video. As you can see, she's been regretting all her entire life been regretting, like she's been living life full of regrets. So if you don't want to be like this same woman, you have to be very, very careful. You have to be very, very careful. So I just had this thought I should come. Maybe you can. Maybe you might not. You should. Let's probably don't call it an advice. You can not call it. You might decide to not call it an advice, but take this very seriously. This clip you just watched, take it very seriously. Your own case might not be as same as this lady. Your own case might be a different ball game entirely. But I just want us to be very careful in terms of decision making. Probably from advice we heard from friends, probably relatives, might be relatives, not just friends, might be relatives and the rest. So you just have to be very careful the kind of life you want to live and how you want to do your things, so you don't end up like this lady that's living her life full of regret at this point. So I just felt I should come on today and show you guys something very interesting and something that would really, really help us. So that's it. Peace and love. Stay safe.